This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask with your host, Dr. Judith Briles, on the Rockstar Radio Network. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money, and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by Author U and the Book Shepherd on the Rockstar Radio Network. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Hi, welcome to another session. It's afternoon in Denver. I'm in Florida today, and it's a beautiful day. Last week it was snowing in Denver, and guess what? It's snowing again. So I'm loving looking at 80-degree beaches, knowing that I get a little bit more sun tomorrow before I have to transition once again. But today we have a terrific show, a lot of ideas around marketing, about new books, about launches, about do you create a special website for when you bring out a new book, or do you just incorporate it with what you have? Or for some of you, you're wondering, website, do I need a website? And the answer is, yes, you do. What about some of the things that you can do to enhance and really expand your success possibilities? For example, contests. Or what do you do and how do you get reviews out there? What about, is there specific types of emails that you should be using? Or maybe, how about purchasing some ads? Are there some pros and cons? So all that is going to be covered in this hour. And with me, once again, for the third time, is the amazing, extraordinarily opinionated Georgia McCabe, who you can find her at georgiamccabe.com. Her company is Social Media Sensei. She is the author of Social Morphus, and she knows so much about marketing, so much about web-related strategies, so much about getting yourself and your book out there, that I'm thrilled to have her with me this hour. And Georgia, for some of you who have heard her before, know that I've mentioned it. She will be one of our key speakers at the Author U Extravaganza in Denver, May 2nd through 4th this year. So with that, welcome, Georgia, to the program. Let's hop into this.
Hi, Judith. Thank you for having me once again.
So here we go. We are both at the beach together, and the reason why is we are creating the special website for my next book. This is the Big 3-0, number 30, Author U, YOU, creating and building the author and book platforms. So what we're going to be talking about is some of the things that I am doing right now in the here and now, and what we're incorporating literally from my book that actually is available. It can be bought, but I'm going to tell you, don't do it until March 26th or 27th, because there is a ton of special gifts that's going to come with it. So we're going to talk about how do you go about procuring gifts, what works, and what doesn't work, and what's the changing scene in those kind of things, and does it make sense even should you try for any type of a bestseller campaign. So with that, Georgia, where do you want to start on this?
Well, I think what I'd like to talk about, Judith, is that, and we had this conversation this afternoon as we were sitting out there in that beautiful sunlight, is that, just because you've built a book, it's not a field of dreams, right? I mean, you have got to market. You have got to use various strategies so that, A, you sell your book, B, you make people aware about it. So if you do have a dream someday that it's going to be in tons of bookstores and selling, maybe on the New York Times bestseller list, you have to have a marketing strategy. And yes, my expertise tends to be in the area of social media, but quite honestly, my expertise really is in marketing. And social media just happens to be different delivery mechanisms that we use to market various things. So what I thought would be fun is to really, in fact, I may do this at Extravaganza, you're going to be my guinea pig here.
Oh, I love being a guinea pig. Do it to me again.
So what I'd like to do is talk about what we're currently working on for your book launch, which is just about a month away. And we have a variety of things to do. I have to tell you folks, she is like the energized bunny. All I have to do is say, I have this idea. Before I know it, she's got emails off, running, etc. But let's just cover a little bit of what we're actually doing as part of that launch. So, first thing we are doing is we are building what we'll call a product launch site for your book. And we're doing that on WordPress. And one of the things that Judith does not like, and I tend to agree with her, is that sometimes you'll see these websites that are literally just one page, and you just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, and you're just reading, on infinitum.
We call those websites in perpetuity. That's what I call them, websites in perpetuity. And please, gag me, stop doing that.
But the purpose of this particular website is to generate awareness for the book and obviously to get people to buy the book. But it will have a lot of uses. So that, and I'll cover this in a second in terms of the kinds of things we're going to do. So we're building a website. It's going to have the ability for people to buy the book. And one of the cool things that Judith is doing as part of her product launch is she reached out to people that she's partnering with and asked them to give a free gift. So, an example, Georgia will give a free gift for a Facebook makeover, which will include a nice timeline photo, 3 application tabs, and the value of something like that is $695. Judith will have other people, and they'll be very specific to the topic of her book. It's not just bullshit. Excuse me, I shouldn't swear like that. It's not bull stuff. It's actually good, wonderful products. So she's gone out, she's sought out these partners, and then what will happen is the day that the book actually launches, the partners, a la, for instance, myself, will actually send out an email to my list. I will put an article up on my blog. I will tweet about Judith's book. I will post on Facebook. I will put something out on Pinterest and on Google+. Why do I want to do this? Well, it's a tremendous benefit for me because hopefully all the other people are doing the same thing. And I'm hoping that my gift is so valuable, a lot of people will click on that. And guess what? That builds my email list. That builds my, ability to reach out to clients that I want to focus on. For Judith, it's terrific because she's able to say for the price of the book, you're getting a heck of a lot more. So that's the purpose of that site. Now, we're going to take it a step further. And in addition to that, we're going to actually create an infographic. And I think, Judith, did you do a radio show on infographics?
No, I've done it. Actually, a hands-on tech toolbox in my offices in Colorado. So for people who know me, authors who know me, knew that they could come and they actually would get over the shoulder, bring your laptop. We're going to show you how to do this, baby.
Cool. So basically, an infographic is just that. It's information put in a graphical form. And so that's going to actually be one of the tabs on the website. Now you say, well, Georgia, why would you have that? Well, one of the other purposes of the site is that we are going to want to solicit people to do book reviews. We're going to want people to write about this book on their blog. We're going to want Judith to be asked to be on various radio shows. We're going to want, in fact, she may have some really good news here shortly where, we'll get very top publishers that will actually write about that. And people that do that, they love to have some sort of graphic. So it's not just the picture of the book or the picture of Judith, but something that's very valuable information-wise. So there'll be an infographic on that. Once we're successful with the other part of our launch, which is soliciting reviews, which I'll talk about in a minute, those will also be listed there. So that's the purpose of the site. And we're kind of excited about it.
We are. So let me do some recap here, because one of the things that Georgia started off with was talking about the gift area, besides doing the websites in perpetuity. So remember how people read today. We read in bites. We read in smaller chunks. So you want to present So there is a beginning, middle, and end. And what's unfortunate about the paragraph perpetuity, website perpetuity, is there is no end. So help people out. The second thing that's important that she brought along was the idea of whole gifts. Now, if you look at other programs and other people who do book launches, they often have gifts or bonuses. They'll call them both. They'll have those attached to it. And of course, they're supposed to be hooks and lures to bring you in saying, gee, not only, will I get this book for, say, $20 or $30 or fill in the blank what it is, I'm going to get this laundry list. And they will put probably an overall value of what the goodies are cumulative worth. The truth, reality, dear listener, is most of that also is BS, because they are inflated values to them. So what I recommend you do, and certainly what I have done, I have reached out to people who I know develop products, write for, do webinars, do programs, create a variety of things exclusively for authors, for people in publishing, for people who want to know how to move, say, product out. So what I'm going to be doing within my area is literally only offering things that are exclusive, that will make your authoring and book publishing, book launching, book marketing life a heck of a lot better. And there will be actually a true value that you could track down. Like Georgia said, doing a Facebook, 3 tabs to that, she charges all day long $695. Wouldn't you like that with buying a copy of my book? I'm telling you, I would tap dance around that. So those are the kind of things that we're looking at. All right, when we come back from our first break here, we're going to get more into some of the things that Georgia referred to, which was including book reviews. Are they good? Are they bad? Do we go for anybody and everybody? Do we go for free or do we go to fee? Where might we want to go for some of those areas? And there's good and bad with all of it, but book reviews do help move books, but there's strategy involved. I'm Judith Briles. You're listening to Your Guide to Book Publishing. With me is Georgia McCabe. We'll be right back.
This is Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Is there a book in you or another? Author U will show you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you'll find a supportive and brainstorming community that's connected and creative no matter where you live. Author U brings in national experts for its book camps and annual author extravaganza held each May. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through Author U's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. The Resource, its online book publishing news magazine, is content-heavy and it's free. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, Author U is for you. If you're a hobbyist or a casual author, it's not. Join Author U today through its website at authoru.org. Follow Author U on Twitter at AuthorU and on Facebook at Author U, where timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted daily. Author U, where the author goes to become seriously successful.
Do you sell stuff? Do you want to sell books? Lots of them? If yes, you must take credit cards, the most widely used form of payment today. The free terminal has created a special program for Your Guide to Book Publishing listeners. No contract, all equipment is free, extremely low rates, and no termination fees ever. Contact Alan Dean at alan@thefreeterminal.com or call him at 303-668-6828. The Free Terminal has handled all credit card transactions for both Author You and Judith for over a year. Don't wait another day. Contact Alan at thefreeterminal.com or call 303-668-6828 and tell him you want the no contract Author You deal.
Every picture tells a story. And it's a truism that people do judge a book by its cover. Nick Sellinger and NZ Graphics have been in the business of producing superior graphic cover design and interior layout for self-published authors, independent and traditional publishers for years. He has developed a reputation for excellent work, fast turnarounds, and best of all, affordable pricing. NZ Graphics also produces ebooks and book marketing materials such as posters, sell sheets, postcards, bookmarks, business cards, logos, and more. Books designed for his clients have won multiple book awards, including Best Book Award by U.S. Book News, multiple Evie Awards from the Colorado Independent Publishers Association, Indie Book Awards, the San Francisco Book Festival Award, and Freedom Medal Award from Valley Forge. Visit www.nzgraphics.com or call 303-985-4174 for more details about making your book the success it should be. Mention that you are an FOJ, friend of Judith's, and that you heard about NZ Graphics on your guide to book publishing.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, so it's how to market our book. How do we sell books? And I have said in earlier programs that there's some awful truths out there. And one of the great myths is that if you sign with a New York publisher, guaranteed you're going to get your books in all the bookstore. You're going to be successful. The world will come to you. Yada, yada, yada. And you know what? It's not true. The odds are you won't be successful at all. It'll be a dismal failure. The odds are the world ain't going to come for you. And also the odds are your New York publisher will not do a heck of a lot. Now, will they do something? Yes, they'll print your book. It will be available for distribution to stores. But what most authors don't get is they have to drive the market. They have to get the butts through the door to buy the books. If you publish it yourself, you also have to get the butts to your site or to wherever the channel is for them to buy the books. That's what we're talking about today. How do you market? How do you launch? What are the components of getting the book out there? And one of the beauties of launching a book is that it can be a brand new baby, like I have a brand new baby out here. It can be a new baby, or it can be a baby that maybe is a little tired, needs a new little window dressing, needs maybe a little vitamin B for a vitamin book shot. And what it can do is, with your savvy and moxie, you can actually move it and reinvent it and bring it a whole new life. So Georgia McCabe is with us today. We've talked about some of the needs that you need, the website. We're going to go in through kind of step by step of what we're looking at, and the website is a critical component. And I think maybe what I want to bring up is the whole issue of branding. Who do you brand? Is it your book title, or is it you, the author? My opinion is it's you, the author, because most likely your book is going to procreate, and it will have more books. And it may be in the same genre, or you may branch out, but you are the primary key here. So my preference would be for you, the author. And then you have a section on your site for books, and certainly for any new book, you have it right center, not maybe center on the page, but certainly very highly visible at the upper section of your website, so people know that this is the newest kid on the block. So with that said, Georgia, why don't you jump in here?
Okay,
with some
I
of the
totally
websites.
agree with you on that. But what I think we're going to also tell people that we're doing, and hopefully we'll have some great results to talk about it, the extravaganza, is we're also doing a contest.
Contest.
So the whole thing here, again, as Judith said, we're creating hype. We're creating awareness. We want to get engagement. And so we are going to be doing a contest. We're going to be using a tool that happens to be free called Rafflecopter. It's actually a Colorado company, Rafflecopter, Rafflecopter. And what this is going to allow us to do is, again, Judith is a master at this. When you run a contest, there are several components, but there's two that I like to highlight. One, the contest has to be very easy to enter. That's why sweepstakes tend to be much more successful than, let's say, an essay contest or a video contest. You're requiring people to do more things. Second of all, you have to have the value of the prize to be something worth people spending the time to enter. So again, what Judith has been able to do, because, one hand, what's the word I want to use? You help me, I help you. And Judith is wonderful at that, is people that she has helped, certainly someone like myself, we're willing to give something. And so the total prize package that Judith has actually come up with totals to what, $4,000?
I think that we will kiss 5,000 by the time it's over. So one person will walk away with $5,000 worth of really things. Now, if you're an auto mechanic that's not thinking about writing a book, you're probably not listening to this program anyway. But this wouldn't be the right fit. But if you're thinking about writing or publishing a book, for example, one of the prizes is $1,000 off, $1,000 off a print run of a high quality printer that I use for myself as well as clients.
That's outstanding.
That's a gameplay. So you start adding up 500 here. The cover designer he charges $1,000 all day. He's going to be doing a free cover design, and you hear his announcements. He is a regular sponsor of our show. He does beautiful work, and I'm thrilled to say he designed the cover for Author U, creating and building the author and book platforms. That there is someone I'm going to give a consulting that I do. If you came in to see me for the first time, we would spend a few hours together, and you're going to leave with a strategic plan. For that first-time shot, I charge $750 all day, and that's going to be free. So there's going to be a variety of goodies that will really rock. So those are the kind of contests you're after for a grant. This is a sweepstake, different from the gifts that you put together for your launch that everybody gets. This is only for one person.
Right. Now, but the cool thing about this, Judith, is that this will be able to be put on your blog or your website. We will be able to put it on your Facebook page. We will be able to have a link on, Author U for people. We will tweet about it. We will post about it. We will make people aware of it. So again, it's a technique to drive awareness and get engagement. So that's another element that we're putting in. We talked a little bit about the infographic already. Another thing that you might want to think about is, clearly with Facebook and Twitter, I'm not going to suggest you do it with standard Google, but consider doing some sort of Facebook ad. Now, Facebook actually has 3 different types of ads that you can do. You can actually do a promoted post, which will make sure that, let's say you're doing Get the Book Now. Let's say Judith is ready to launch, and she's going to say, hey, everybody, go to this link and buy my book and get up to, whatever the dollar amount is for the free gifts. We can actually pay to have that post promoted. And very inexpensively, I think max maybe we'll pay $15 for that. And then that will not only go out to all of Judith's fans, but also their fans, their friends. So you could many times hit hundreds of thousands of people with $15. That's what we call a promoted post. You could do a promoted story. Again, that can be a post, but you can target it very specifically to say, I want to target, people who have an interest in writing, who maybe follow the following fan pages. I mean, you can get as specific as age category, female, male, whatever. So that's another. And the cool thing about Facebook, or you could do just a general kind of ad, is that you can set a dollar amount not to exceed. So you can say, you know what, I'm going to run this ad for 1 week or 2 days or whatever, and I don't want to spend any more than $20 or $30. So you can actually put a limit on that.
And how much do the ads cost?
Yeah, it varies. There's two methods you can use. They do a cost per click or a cost per impression, and it really varies based on the demographics.
Okay.
Sometimes they can be $1, or they could even be less. But Facebook will offer up suggestions.
So what Georgia said is something very important that just popped up, that if you decide to do a Facebook ad, which it sounds like it's a good idea, that I will do that, and if you want to do a specific post to all and everybody within your own stream that hopefully goes out to everybody else, my gut is telling me, I think I'm looking at option number 2, to specifically tie into certain people I know who have huge followings in my arena that would reach far more than my own immediate stream.
Correct.
That would be correct.
Yes.
So that's why it's so imperative for you to understand what your keywords are. And it's so imperative to understand who are the leaders of the pack in your specific genre. That not only genre, but your topic expertise area that you can maybe coattail onto them for a very special event. That's I think the key here to possibly your magic kingdom. What would you think, Georgia?
I agree.
All right.
I totally agree.
So Facebook, and then what about Twitter ads?
I've never really done those, Judith, so I can't really talk too much about them, but I do have a Twitter tip that I'll give. A Twitter twip.
a Twitter twip. I like what Oprah calls her Twitter followers, of which she has a couple million. She calls her tweet hearts. Tweet hearts. All right. So with that said, we'll be right back. We're going to continue on and talk about book launch, book product.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Since 1987, Color House Graphics has set the standard for quality book production. Whether you decide to print a small quantity of books or need a large print run, depend on Color House to help you. You'll receive professional help and advice the moment you reach one of our representatives. If you mention hearing about us on your guide to book publishing with Judith Briles, we will provide you a discount on the first order you place. To speak with a project manager, call us toll-free at 800-454-1916 or visit us at www.colorhousegraphics.com.
Do you need postcards that make a statement? How about business cards, flyers, brochures, or NCR forms? Tuvets is the solution for all your printing needs. Providing services specially designed for authors, we deliver exceptional quality colored printing. Most important of all, we specialize in reducing your printing costs. No more waiting. No more standing in lines at your local printer. Online proofing. With our pricing tools calculator, you can get instant quotes on all your printing products, as well as shipping rates all over the United States. Just a few clicks of the mouse and you're on the way to discovering how easy and convenient online color printing should be. Contact our friendly, human account representatives. We recognize that you want answers, not voice prompts. Visit our website at www.tu-vets.com or call 1-800 894-8977.
When Ned Thompson and Harry Shore started Thompson Shore in 1972, they believed employees with great character would make up the best company. They were right. They hired people who were not only experts in bookmaking, but who were obsessed with quality and delivering exceptional customer service. Almost 40 years later, Thompson Shore remains a 100% employee-owned company. Ned and Harry knew that successful customer projects are a direct result of empowered employees. We specialize in all books for large and small publishers. Creating beautiful and well-made books, we're dedicated to pleasing our customers by making the experience a good one from start to finish. The personal touch we have with our customers allows us to be innovative in solving their most difficult challenges. Our platform also ensures that we can remain flexible to meet our customers' unique needs and expectations. Our marketing kit can create buzz for your title, enhancing the promotion of your book during infancy. When you need to test the market to gauge your future sales, we can provide digitally printed books that will transition seamlessly into a larger offset run. From ebook to hard copy to delivery, our skillful customer service teams are at the ready to answer your most pressing question. At Thompson Shore, we know that making the highest quality books requires more than just best technologies. It requires superior customer service, professionalism to the trade, and commitment to environmental and social values. With these standards of excellence in place, you can be sure that we will always help you put your best book forward.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
If you like some of the ideas that you're hearing today, we are going to be so expansive on social media and marketing strategies and all the gizmos and gadgets to take you to another area at the Author U Extravaganza, May 2nd through 4th in Denver, Colorado. I would encourage anyone, whether you have a new book or an old book or a book that needs to be revitalized, you really want to get to the extravaganza. It is approximately 70% sold out at this point. It's got 2.5 more months to go before the event. And you can get all the information you need just by going to AuthorU, AUTHORU, as in the letter, .org. Click on the extravaganza, and all the details are there, the agenda, who is going to be speaking, and we will be starting Thursday at 11 o'clock, May 2nd, with the amazing Penny Sanseveri, known as the Book Gal. She is a well-loved contributor to the Huffington Post, talking about all things relating with books and marketing. Penny will kick it out with the latest, what's going on with New York, how it affects us, as well as our marketing and where we go. And she will be there throughout the session, and she'll also be doing a session on Saturday. Also, Guy Kawasaki will be there. Guy is the author of Ape, author, publisher, entrepreneur, and really does look at, you have to understand the business side, whether you publish with New York or you go on your own, you need to understand that, but he's going to get out in some amazing ways that he went about launching Ape. And as a bonus, everyone who's there will get a copy. So that's AuthorU.org, May 2nd through 4th, this year, Denver, Colorado. Be there. All right, Georgia, we're back.
We're back.
We were talking about contests.
Yep.
I'm ready to go. While we were doing our sponsor break, we were writing down. I was already writing down my budget. I was writing down the keywords. I knew I was going to go for the Facebook story promotion option number 2. And what are some of the other things that we should be looking for in this area?
Okay, so the next thing we really have to embark on is, yes, I mean, you have some great testimonials for the book, which will be part, we'll have that on the website. But we really want to get the publicity out there. Everybody's probably heard about the 4-Hour Work Week with Tim Ferriss. I mean, Tim basically, he used this technique flawlessly, where he just reached out to bloggers and got people to review his book. And so, there's a number of ways that you can find who they are. I mean, literally, if you just go in on Google and you say, book review, top book review websites, you wouldn't believe the number of stuff. But I have a little tip for you folks. If you want to, if you're on Twitter, and you look me up, and my Twitter handle is Mama Gigi, MAMAGG, and you go to my lists, and actually I have in my list 3 great lists. One, which is called Best Book Publicity Feeds, and these are the Twitter names of people that I figure are the top people for that. I have Best Publisher Feeds. I got 50 Twitter handles on that. And I also have Best Book Review Feeds. And I have 83 Twitter handles for that. So what we want to do is we want to, go ahead and subscribe to that list. Now we want to start engaging with them, right? I'll tell you, I have done some of the most amazing joint partnerships with people that I've never physically met. I've just developed a relationship with them on Twitter. And I'm telling you, for those of you who are on it and you're active, and I'm sure Judith, you're top notch at this now, you know who retweets your stuff. You know who gives you kudos. I can tell you who my top people are. In fact, last week there was this gentleman from Oregon, and he and we actually sometimes have some fun. We'll tweet back because he loves coffee. Finally, he wrote a DM me the other day. He goes, "Enough, Georgia. We have to talk." And the guy is one of the top social media people in the country.
How fabulous is that? I retweeted one of Mark Collier's columns because he's one of the bloggers I follow. And it was about how the big boys like Jeep and Burger King were hacked on their Twitter accounts, and how when they got it all resolved, they actually started talking to each other, Jeep and Burger King. So Burger King sent to Jeep, drive by, swap stories, we'll feed you.
Oh, that's funny.
And so you do those kind of things. But so even the big boys, one of the things about Twitter, which I really am an advocate of, is that you need a sense of humor. I always tell my people to think of these my clients, my authors, to think of three words when they're tweeting, and doing that. And you've got to think, and you have to start thinking in headlines. It's very important in this marketing of books to think, because there's a reason why newspapers hire people that specifically write headlines. That's their job. Magazines, headlines. It's got to be snappy. It's got to be sassy and a little bit salty.
Right.
So that a reader, when they see it, will say, "Hey, what? Wait, what? Does that?" And the other thing is that when you're writing your copy and you're doing your marketing, remember, it's not money that makes the world go round. It's problems. So you as the author are the problem solver. And the problem could be you just need to deliver a phenomenally entertaining thriller, or a romance, or a historical novel, or a biography, or fill in the blank. But that's what the book is. You're solving a problem. People are looking for an escape, or they're looking for a way to fix the pain that they're going through. You are the answer to it. So always keep that in mind. Pat yourself on the back, move on forward. And this is the way you need to think about your marketing strategies as you're working your copy.
And, another tip that you could try is if you know someone that's written a book in your same type of category, and you can even find some, if you go to even Deepak Chopra or some of these other people, if you go to their websites, you'll see they'll have a tab there that says reviews. And if you click on those reviews, it will take you to the writer, So, for instance, if I wanted, to find someone who did a review, let's say in Forbes, in that publishing, I would go to, let's say Deepak or whoever, and I would just click on that, and then I would then find their Twitter handle. 9 times out of 10, they also have their Twitter handle there. And so there's just really, subtle ways that you can reach out to these people. Another thing that's a great way to find people, and I'm not sure if it really ties to the book review, but it's just an extra added tip for you guys, because I talked to one of the authors I'm working with today, and we're actually trying to reach out to do some opportunities where she will speak at conferences and hand her book out. And we're looking for corporate sponsors. So there's a site called findpeopleonplus.com. Findpeopleonplus.com. You can put in, so in her case, she's writing a sports book. So I for the heck of it, I just put in Foot Locker. And I click on Foot Locker, and then I go occupation. And it lists all the people who say they work at Foot Locker and what their occupation is. Bingo, within 3 minutes, Judith, I found the two top PR people.
Who we wanted, the marketing people who we wanted specifically for Lynn's book.
Right.
So that's what you're after in that arena. So it's a drill down. So keep this in mind. The more you niche yourself in your search and your finds, really the bigger the opportunities become. And it's really reaching out, and you keep drilling until you get there and you find it. Because this is where the success comes from, and it's work. Neither George and I are going to tell you, it's a piece of cake. You can do it in 15 minutes. That is a BS statement. Anyone tells you that, I have a bridge I'm going to sell you to. So what you want to do is recognize this is a job, and if you can't do it yourself, you hire somebody to do it. Be very clear on this. I mean, it could make or break your book. It could catapult you, your success, catapult you way above what anyone would even expect out of New York these days. If you had a mainstream publisher, if you're doing this yourself, and if you're with a mainstream publisher, let me tell you, you're going to need to do this yourself because they're not going to do it for you. That's their expectations.
Also, Judith, on Author U, don't you have on book reviews, don't you have a coupon for people to get?
We do. And we're going to get more into finding book reviews, but I wanted to mention there's a company that I have a lot of respect for because we do want to get in. Do you pay for them, or do you get them for free, or are you doing the blank? Because that's important to know. But Blue Ink Reviews actually is one of the pay services. But there's a special discount, and let me just give it to you, to all of you. It's D as in dog, D5G as in Georgia, 1, D5G1, and it'll knock $75 off. So that's worthwhile. And if you, when you see that when my website is up, you can see what we're going to do with our endorsements. When we come back, we're going to get a little bit more into that. I'm Judith Briles. It's your guide to book publishing.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Do you sell stuff? Do you want to sell books? Lots of them? If yes, you must take credit cards, the most widely used form of payment today. The Free Terminal has created a special program for your guide to book publishing listeners. No contract. All equipment is free. Extremely low rates and no termination fees ever. Contact Alan Dean at alan@thefreeterminal.com or call him at 303-668-6828. The Free Terminal has handled all credit card transactions for both Author U and Judith for over a year. Don't wait another day. Contact Alan at thefreeterminal.com or call 303-668-6828 and tell him you want the no contract Author U deal.
The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and a guide to partner with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand, and is a financial success, a bestseller. It's your choice. You choose. You need the book shepherd. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You don't need problems, you want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and the chaos. At times, she's had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher or by a publishing service provider or sometimes even the author themselves. Judith Briles is the book shepherd if you want to create a book with no regrets. Give her a call today, 303-885-2207. That's 303-885-2207, or email her at judith@briles.com. By the way, Briles is spelled B-R-I-L-E-S. Follow Judith on Twitter at My Book Shepherd and on Facebook at The Book Shepherd.
At Total Printing Systems, customer service is our priority. We are located in Southern Illinois. Our employees have an average of 18 years experience and know that customer relationships are important to our continued success. We have been a short-run book printer for nearly 40 years and always stay at the forefront of technology. Our niche is from 1 to 5,000 copies. Today, we offer digital, black and white, and 4-color high-speed inkjet printing, a cost-effective way to introduce color into your short-run titles. We, of course, offer traditional offset printing as well. Bindery is done in-house, from adhesive case binding to PUR perfect binding to mechanical binding of all types, including side sewing. We provide warehousing, kitting, distribution, inventory management, a new print-on-demand facility, streaming browser-based ebooks, and bookstore. Call us at 1-800-465-5200 for a quote on your next book project. You can also visit our website at www.tps1.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask on the Rockstar Radio Network. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, for our final segment, Georgia, we want to make sure we were going to come back and talk about reviews a little bit more.
Yep.
You mentioned on your website that you've got the top reviewers.
On my Twitter.
On your Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So where else would one go searching? Because I think the bloggers are, and I know that when Guy Kawasaki is here at the extravaganza, that one of the things that he did, his strategy, is he sent out his PDF of APE to 1,500 people.
Right.
And with the condition, string attached, listen to this, do strings attached. He did it with a string attached and said that you need to go up on this day, and post a review that this rocks on Amazon. He has absolutely targeted Amazon, that he's rolling and doing his playing. And he is #1 in books and has been for quite a while on this area. So he is in books and writing anyway, publishing, authorship. So maybe we can bump him when my book comes, Georgia. Oh, wouldn't that be so much fun? You can all help me. Anyway, Guy sent it out with the PDF attached so they could go through and read it, and then they did it, sometimes short reviews, sometimes long review, and they all posted it on Amazon. I actually have sent out the PDF to key people who are in on my joint venture partners and asked them to go up, because we went ahead and opened it up on Amazon so any of you can take a look at AuthorU, creating and building the author and book platforms. You can go ahead and take a look at it and see the endorsements, because they're really lovely. The testimonials are lovely that have come down. So we'll be picking up and copying all those and then integrating it into the new website we do for the launch. So Georgia's keeping eyes attached on that. But you do need to ask for it. Get over the fear factor. They're going to take my stuff and use it. Look at how long did it take you to write this book? Do you think someone's going to take it over the next 2 weeks and publish a whole new book? Most likely not. And after all, you did send it into the Library of Congress Copyright Office, right? Please tell me you've done that with your finished copy. That's $35. Do that. All right. So Georgia.
So I used to use, and up until yesterday, Judith, I used a tool called eCairn, ECAIRN. And it was a pretty expensive tool. I paid by the month. But it was phenomenal. What it allowed me to do was actually go in, and they had already created what they called tribes. So you could go in, and I could go into the section. Let me give you an example. I did this for one of the authors I worked with a couple years ago. They wrote a book called Getting to Baby, and it was
pregnancy.
Well, actually, it was about a gay, lesbian couple
okay.
who had difficulty, each of them getting pregnant. They had a failed adoption, so they ended up doing surrogacy. And so initially, they were going to target the audience of just surrogacy or, getting pregnant. And I'm like, no. We're going to target LGBT, And so I literally went in on eCard, and I could go to this tribe called LGBT. And, basically it then pulled up all of the people that are bloggers in that category, had them ranked by influence, had their Twitter handle, their Facebook handle. Some of them even had their email contact information.
Wow.
And it was just phenomenal. So literally within 2 clicks. Now, why, you say, Georgia, did you not use that anymore? So yesterday I went in to pull my reviewers for our launch, and they've changed their business model. And now they charge $2,000 just to import a tribe.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. All right.
So I don't use that. Guy actually used them for his launch on Enchantment.
Oh, let's hope there's a digit error.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so. But, seriously, the best technique, believe it or not, is just literally go on Google and just start typing away with certain. You will not believe how many articles you'll find written about top book reviewers. And they actually have, a lot of these sites actually have it broken down in the type of, whether it's fiction, nonfiction, whether it's fiction within thrillers or, crimes or, whatever. So it's really easy.
All right. So let me make a suggestion. You're thinking, wait a minute, you girls are giving us a laundry list of stuff to do. And yes, we are. And you're saying, but I don't have time to do all this. So let me give you a couple of ideas. If you need to get some help, ask for it. Because one of my personal keepers is don't do well what you have no business doing. If you don't have somebody like a savvy kid who could go look all this stuff up, because they just have to make sure they know how to spell, that you could do the technology, or you could go, for example, go on Fiverr, right? FIVERR.com, throw out what you need and see what you come back with. You could also go to elance.com
or Odesk.
Or Odesk, ODESK.com. And you can put out what the description is and see what comes back for people who are willing to tap dance for you. I mean, don't feel you have to do all this yourself. You just need to know where to go. But even more important, you need to know what you're looking for.
There's a new site, and darn it, I wish I could remember it. If I do, we'll send a tweet out on it. Helping Hands or something, but it's like an online concierge type assistant, and you pay a fixed fee for a task. I mean, they'll, so if you said, I want you to create an Excel spreadsheet for me of a list of bloggers in this category, I want their Facebook, their Twitter, their, whatever, and you just pay a fixed fee for that. So, that I'll have to look up that name.
All right, so that makes total sense to do in that arena. All right, so one of the things I wanted to bring up before we exit, since we're in our last segment, I have about 5 minutes, is I want to bring up Kickstarter. I have mentioned it, the cloud of crowdfunding. We have mentioned this before on the show. Georgia and I have worked with mutual clients that have gone through crowdfunding in their initial stages from the get-go. I have a couple of clients who are actually doing it post the creation of their book, because they're looking for now putting the whole thing together and part of their marketing campaign and doing that. So let's touch on some of the key things. Kickstarter is certainly the biggest of all of them. It's an all or nothing. You all should know about this. It's all or nothing. If you say I've got to raise $5,000, you've got to raise $5,000. Now, you could raise $10,000. That's okay. But they're not going to give you a nickel of the money of people who have said they're willing to go in your campaign unless you keep the $5,000. So your strategy is you pay attention to this. They will notify you. If you get to $4,500, I'm going to tell you, get out your credit card and you put in the last $500.
Right, exactly.
I mean, let's be really smart here in this. But what would you like to add about Kickstarter?
I mean, I'm pretty impressed with it. You know, one of our mutual clients, she raised $22,000. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Guess what that's doing? That's help funding her marketing initiatives. And she's doing what you said to do. You know, she realizes that might not be her area of expertise, and so she is actually outsourcing a lot of that. So I really like it. I also think it's a great way to really get some focus around what you're trying to do. It requires that, you know, it's nice if you have like a video. So this particular client, she just did an amazing job on her video. Mm-hmm. And we get to reuse that. You know, it's cool. I mean, it became a great link to use. Even just the Kickstarter program itself, even after the money was raised, became a great link as we started reaching out to people to do reviews and testimonials.
And so let me make a suggestion for you. Go into Kickstarter and check it out. And look up, the project we're talking about is called the Imagine Project. That was it's the name of the book, the Imagine Project. And you can look at how Diane Maroney put it all together. The second part is Kickstarter has really good tutorials on the site. And it tells you step by step how to do it. And one of the things it does say, by including a video, you've got an 80% probability, higher probability of people coming in and saying this rocks. So it could be, you could do it professionally, but it also could be just you chatting about what's going on, what's in your passion vision. So I'm going to come back to, as we wrap up here, about platforms, because as you put together your marketing plan, as you put together your book plan, it has to have a vision. They must have a vision. You've got to have a deep drive, that passion behind it to make it very successful. And you've got to be committed. Commitment means time, it means energy, and it means money. So if you come to me and say, Judith, I only have $300 to do my entire book and my marketing campaign, I'm going to say, good luck to you, but the odds are clearly not in your favor. So we're going to wrap up here, Georgia. Thank you so much.
Judith, one of the things I would like to mention, we talked about Facebook ads, and we talked about outsourcing. If people want to go to my website, I do have some ebooks that are dedicated to those topics.
Perfect. So that would be at Georgia McCabe, and that's MCCABE.com. Tons of information. She is social morphous and knows more things than what I say Hogan has goats about this topic. This is Judith Briles.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles.